Hey there, and welcome into the 3 steps to overcoming price inquiries. How do we transform price shoppers into value-based buyers, value-based patients? This advanced phone training is going to teach you how to do it, and it's designed, just like the rest of New Patient Group, it is designed all around the new economy. One of the things you're going to be seeing, you may be watching this over in our YouTube station, just randomly come across the video. This QR code will take you to the 3 steps to overcoming price inquiries page where you can learn more about it. If you're already on that page, hey there, looking forward to talking with you for a few minutes. And let's dive in, and let's first dive into what is the new economy. When I say that, when we talk about that as a company, what do we mean? And it's important to understand this and important to understand why this price inquiry phone training, while all of our training is so advanced, designed around this. Look, according to Forbes, the average person views more than 10,000 marketing messages on any given day, right? This goes beyond your product, right? This is how do we capture the TV, the person that's going to spend $6,000 on a television? How do we draw their attention into your practice? Maybe it's a $6,000 Invisalign case as an example. Family vacation, we are distracted. With this, I'm using to control the keynote. As I talk to you, our phones are attached to our bodies. We get bombarded, all right? And that means that you're distracted, your team's distracted, and so is the person that you are trying to get to buy from you, hopefully at the highest dollar. They're distracted as well. And what this has done, according to Microsoft, the most recent study, is the average consumer attention span has dropped to 8 seconds, right? So this distraction with all these marketing messages has really caused us to become dumber than a goldfish. And I hate to say that, it's kind of embarrassing to talk about, but goldfish are smarter than us, right? We have a 1 second less attention span than a goldfish. And I cannot tell you how your communication skills, your presentation skills, your sales skills, psychology skills, things we're going to be working on throughout this course. If you look at that Forbes study and then this Microsoft study, they've never been this important. Another one, let's look at some video stats really quick. 1 minute of video is equivalent to 1.8 million words because, among other reasons, viewers retain 95% of a given message on video, as opposed to only 10% when you're talking in person, texting, things like this. This is why we're so big on video marketing as it relates to the existing patient experience to get them to be compliant, video marketing to get new patients to show up to the door. Video marketing is powerful. And you look at all this, I mean, Gen Z, 51% of Gen Z women find their information via video search on TikTok. It's a big reason we're big on TikTok in our marketing program. YouTube is the second largest search engine. Everything is changing, okay? Everything is changing. People value convenience over other factors and are willing to pay higher prices for it. Your practice should always be striving to be more convenient. Every year, you should be more convenient than in years past. People demand it, and it's a direct impact on how they view the experience at your organization, okay? 91% of people, this right here, this stat is why I founded this company, why New Patient Group exists. We believe as a company that companies at their finest, businesses at their finest, place their employee and their customer experiences ahead of their product or service. Now, this does not mean you should be a bad chef, or this does not mean you should be a bad clinician. It's got nothing to do with it. But what it does have something to do with is that 91% of people surveyed in and out of healthcare, this is all businesses, said they would choose and or remain with a business because of the experience. Okay, and that means that experience trumps product, especially when you become commoditized, right? I type in Invisalign into Google, braces into Google, that into YouTube, whatever it may be. There's 15 options where I can buy it within 20 minutes of my house, maybe even less than 20 minutes, right? That's a commodity. And this is the companies that do this, experience trumps product every time, okay? This is, and the same with this course, by the way. As you go through these teachings, if your receptionist nails this, that is going to deliver an experience that has really nothing to do with your product, Invisalign, braces, et cetera, regardless of what type of doctor you are that happens to be watching. People enter 3 or more practices before making a buying decision. When they walk through your door, you are one of at least 2 other opinions, right? So you're 3 opinions or more when people walk through the door. Again, it's not even the other 2 people that they walk through that your air quotes competition. Of course, that's part of it, but it's still this. It's all these consumer products that are more convenient than you, that know psychology and how to present their product better than you and your team, et cetera, okay? It is a crazy new world that we live in, and that's why we are here. Now, if you take the new patient no-shows, which are on the rise in dentistry, orthodontics, plastic surgery, et cetera, down the line, look at this. This is why you should always have your finger on the pulse. 3 new patient no-shows a month, that's 36 in a year, right? You've been open 5 years, that's 180 new patients that no-showed you in 5 years. That's $1,080,000 in 5 years of revenue lost. If you use 70% treatment conversion, $6,000 average case fee, $756,000 you lost that never went into your bank account because of the no-shows, right? Big part of the new patient group program is teaching people how to reduce these, and therefore you capture this when it otherwise would have been a lost opportunity, right? This is all new economy stuff. This one is really why we're here with this course, is people call upwards of 5 practices before deciding which to visit. Think about this. Your receptionist is your new treatment coordinator. I'm going to talk more about that here in just a second. Our trainings, all of them, 6 steps to the new patient call, all the different phone courses that you will find on our website, right, are all designed around all the data, right? Teaching them presentation skills to capture the focus, capture the attention, because we're distracted, like the data says, right? Looking at people go into at least 3. They call upwards of 5, even more, according to even some other statistics, right? How do we design the language? How do we design the call to represent your brand completely different than the others? It's what our phone training is all about. And it's very important because studies show from dental economics and others that the new patient call conversion has dropped to 62%. That means that for every 100 calls that come into your office, on average, your receptionist drops 38 of them. Now, this is a combination of just missed calls during regular business hours, but this is also mishandled calls. How much do you charge for? Right? We're going to talk more about that, and we're going to showcase, there's a role play that I want you to do with your team that is very important because it'll really show you whether or not you need this course, okay? And remember, those QR codes will take you to that proper landing page. So therefore, we have got to become an expert in things that you see on that I'm going to be teaching you. And like I said, miss new patient calls, right? We've got to find ways to make sure we're answering our phones during regular business hours. A lot of doctors out there, business owners, are worried about after hours, and you shouldn't be, right? Should those be answered? Of course they should. But when you're fully staffed during regular business hours, that's when you're missing them. We have the data with RightChat because I created RightChat because no one will leave a voicemail anymore. Answering services are worthless, so they've got to be answered in a personalized fashion as if they're sitting at your front desk, remote into the software, and save you those new patients that you're missing. The data actually shows that for every 30 new patient phone calls received, practices miss 3 to 5 of them, okay? That adds up so much. I'm going to show you the data, and that data comes from RightChat with us answering. Now, the rest of them are just flat out mishandled calls, like I was talking. Poor hospitality, can't overcome a price inquiry, can't overcome an insurance inquiry. They say, hey, do you do braces? And they mishandle the response to that because it is a sales call. Make no mistake about it, right? Just like we're going to be talking about today. How much do you charge for fill in the blank? Whatever you do at your office, this is all personalized to whatever type of practice you are out there, all right? Now, looking at this, if you take 38 missed calls, or not missed calls, but just non-converted calls between mishandled and missed out of 100, that's $228,000 per 100 new patient calls that you're losing. It's insane how much this stuff adds up, right? That's $159,600 per 100 calls using that 70% treatment conversion in a $6,000 average case fee. Now, whatever practice out there, let's say you're a dental practice watching, the conversion in dentistry's dropped to like the low 30s, according to the recent dental economics stat. So you, while you may not make as much on an average case fee as an orthodontist, this is an orthodontic example, right? You can just plug in your own numbers and go, wow, if we just plug these holes, how much more can we grow? All right, now, also, if you are infinite-minded like we teach, right? If you're infinite-minded, this hurts. But what really hurts is the lost referral stream coming from those patients, right? You lose all of these, you also lose the brother, his 2 friends, their 3 sisters, her mom, etc. down the line. You lose that entire revenue stream, that entire domino effect on top of this. And these add up to way more than this, all right? And you got to use that infinite-minded stuff. And when you add these together, this is what I want you always doing. And this, again, all new economy stuff. Look at this. You've got the 1,080,000 that we talked about, 756, and then the missed calls, right? Non-converted calls. Look how much money that is, right? So we've got to just plug this. And if you just plug these things that are happening to you in some form or fashion, it may be worse than this. It may not be as bad, but it is happening, right? And it's a challenge because a lot of this money never goes into your account. So it's hard to get a lot of people to see the true value and why we grow practices at such high levels while teaching you not to have to advertise. Because if you're constantly plugging this, because it happens throughout the whole practice, show you more of that in just a second, you win. In a down economy, good economy, et cetera, et cetera. This is how you recession-proof your business and plus the referrals like I was referring to. So this all leads into the new job description and why your receptionist is the new treatment coordinator inside your office. They have as much and arguably more impact than anybody else in your office on the sale, on the conversion, on the experience, et cetera, et cetera. Their first job is to get people to schedule. Now you say, duh, Brian, but going back to that 62% call conversion, according to the national averages, they don't a lot of the times. They don't a lot of the times, okay? So we've got to give them the skill sets to make sure that conversion's through the roof. Get people to be compliant by filling out their paperwork accurately and early, right? If you're an orthodontic practice, you know if this is done, you have an increased chance of them showing up, buying, etc. Dental practice, etc. You all have a better opportunity of them showing up and buying from you, right, if they do this early. Now, the other one, get people to show up to their appointment, right? How your receptionist speaks, are they getting people excited? Or are they speaking the same way as the other 4 places I called? That will determine whether or not people show up. Get people psychologically prepared to purchase treatment, right? And or know they want to be a part of your family for life, right? Orthodontist watching, how do we increase same-day starts? By using psychology on the call. Maybe you're a dentist watching, and maybe your main goal the first time they come through your door is to know that, you know what, this is the place I'm going to be for the rest of my life, right? A little bit different goal, but the same strategies will help us get there, right? And then also get people to write a 5-star review. We have several customers with RightChat where our agents answer for them, or new patient group customers that we are training that get patients to go write a 5-star review before they ever arrive to your practice. Now think how amazing that is. No real relationship other than the phone call, and hopefully your digital marketing is helping build that relationship too, right? And it's not that you're asking. It's training people to speak in a way that gives such an unexpected, over-the-top experience through hospitality, etc., that they feel obligated to go do it, right? So we're not asking for it. Really incredible things with this job description. Your receptionist in this new economy is not a data collector, right? The fewer pieces of information and get off the phone, the better. You do not need, if you're an orthodontist, the dentist name, this name, the address, this. No, you need name, email, cell phone number, get off, okay? And why? Well, if you ask them a bunch of other stuff and then send them paperwork that asks them the same questions, how ridiculous is that? Of course they're not going to fill it out. I wouldn't fill it out. You just asked me 20 questions on the new patient call. You fill out my paperwork for me. You got to get on and off the phone extremely fast. Here's a QR code that's going to take you to a podcast that I did about this and why your receptionist is your new treatment coordinator. Give that a scan. If you haven't ever checked it out, check out the New Patient Group podcast. And let me introduce myself. Maybe the first time. Welcome in, everybody, to the 3 Steps to Overcoming Price Increase. I have been referred to as the Marcus Lemonis and Shark Tank of healthcare by Dr. Stacy Frankowitz. Great quote here by Stephanie Solomon. Brian writes the Tony Robbins of healthcare. I am the founder and CEO of New Patient Group and RightChat, host of the New Patient Group podcast. I'm faculty of with Align Technology. Been featured in Dental Economics Ask the Expert section. I've also been featured in my companies in Forbes, CNBC, and the National Journal. I'm a former professional baseball umpire for you baseball fans out there. I motivational speak all over the world. I'm a business and life coach of some of the biggest and finest names in orthodontics, dentistry, and beyond. speak for Invisalign and OrthoFi, and if you are a reader, Dr. Jamie Reynolds did a great book called Level the Curve, and they put me in there and said I'm the best in the business. So just wanted an overview just to let you know who I am. If you're just shopping around out there and you came across and don't know, put a little validity to the things that we are talking about. We work with the best of the best. If you've seen doctors that speak on stage at events all over the country, they are our customers, all right? The forward thinkers are attracted to us, and we hope you become part of the new patient group and or Right Chat family as well. Right, and I'm a renowned expert. This is what companies have me speak all over the world on leadership to build a better culture, hospitality skill sets, which I think is a very misunderstood term. You all being nice is not hospitality. That's one ingredient of a 1,000-ingredient puzzle. Hospitality is advanced sales and psychology teachings that I'm an expert in and teach all over the world. Communication, presentation, and verbiage as well, which has never been important. So when you take this package, right, this is what you're going to learn in this course. This is what our customers with New Patient Group, all the employees learn these skill sets as it relates to how they interact with whatever job description they have in your office. These skill sets are how people are told. We teach these and then teach the employees how to go implement that for whatever job description they have in your office. And when that happens, you can frame things differently in your organization, which is what this phone course is all about. Framing effect is a cognitive bias where people decide on options based on how they're presented, okay? Getting people to draw different conclusions based on what they perceive as the exact same information. This is a problem all of you have. They perceive you as the same. Podcast listeners, give this little baby a scan. Podcast that goes in depth about the framing effect. So if we frame it differently, you can charge more. If you frame it differently than everybody else, you can convert at a higher level. This is integral, essential to how people view you, how people see more value in you, etc. And people have to be trained on this. So if you take those skill sets I teach all over the world and implement them into practices, which happens to be our niche, we work with restaurants, hotels, etc., but orthodontics and dentistry, etc., we found a niche in this market. And it's a beautiful one because you need these skill sets as much as any other people business needs these skill sets. The framing effect comes in 3 ways: written, visual, and verbal. All right. As an example, you want to lose weight, you're health conscious, you go to the grocery store, you see a yogurt that says contains 10% fat, sitting right next to it, you see one that says 90% fat free. Which do you choose? Almost everybody in audiences raise their hand and says the 90% fat free, right? But this may be the better yogurt. However, this is framed differently, both written and visual, okay? So this wins even if it's the lesser yogurt. This happens to you as a clinician. You may be the better clinician, but the other clinician frames it differently, they win, all right? And this absolutely applies to price inquiries as well. They win. Same way, right? You want to be digital and advanced and you want to be higher priced and all this stuff, yet your TC room looks like this, okay? Which wins? This. Okay, again, maybe be the lesser clinician, but they're tech forward, they look modern, they look immersive, they will win over this. Same way with the receptionist that overcomes the price inquiry, right? Maybe working for a practice that doesn't have a great clinician, but if the receptionist nails it, that's how that clinician may beat you. Okay, it's got to be framed. And I'm not saying be a lesser clinician. No. Be the best clinician you can and combine that with the best business, the best hospitality, the best overall experience. Combine those together, you become famous, okay? And what we're going to do when you take the framing effect and all these skill sets, we apply it to this whole consumer journey, before purchase and after they have signed the contract. And what is it like with you via in-treatment experience, not the clinical part, but all those other interactions when people call in, how they're greeted, all those things. There's hundreds of those after they sign the contract, right? But this course that we're going to talk about today focuses right here. Now you say, why is that circled? That's always circled, right? If you purchase this course and have a bad culture because of poor leadership, your receptionist isn't going to implement this, right? So that's why we teach leadership as well. But this course is going to talk very much about the new patient call in very specific ways, and it's critical because of the halo effect. Your receptionist controls how people view your whole organization, period, right? The halo effect, if people like a little itsy bitsy part of your whole, they tend to like the whole entire whole. Remember the journey, right? This is why the receptionist can reduce no-shows, increase starts, et cetera, all because of this psychological impact that we teach in all of our phone courses, okay? And this price increase course is gonna talk about how much do you charge for Invisalign, how much do you charge for fill in the blank. I'm just using this, as an example, right? Here's another QR code. If you're watching on YouTube, you're ready to go, scan this. It'll take you to the page that'll talk more about this, right? So whatever type of practice, you can fill in whatever, right? Call this clear aligners, braces, you're a dental practice, it's a crown, whatever it may be. You're gonna be able to take the inner workings in this, and we personalize, regardless of the doctors we work for, everything is personalized, all right? It's not some cookie cutter approach, but this is a foundational course that will teach you the skill sets, all the things, like I said, sales, psychology, verbiage, presentation, communication, et cetera, It will teach it in a way that you can apply it no matter what practice you are out there. You just have to tweak this here, right? You just have to use your imagination just a little bit, right? And we're gonna talk about 3 scenarios here. And this is something that I want you to role play with your team, all right? And what you are gonna find is they are gonna respond in one of 2 of 3 ways, right? What you're about to see in the screen. The first one is they're gonna quote the price. And the only way this works, and even arguably doesn't even work then, is if you want to be the cheapest of the 5 places I called, right? So if you want to be the cheapest, maybe you can get away with this. If you want to be middle of the road or above, can't get away with this anymore. Those days are gone, right? The other one you'll get when you say how much do you charge for Invisalign is this. It ranges from about $5,000 to $7,000. They'll throw out a range, right? The other one you're going to get as you shop around, look, we've done thousands of mystery calls, and 100% of them all fall into these 3. Or the receptionist says, can't answer it, come in. Now, when you do these, sometimes they'll say a few other things. They may give a little edification, right? Not nearly enough, but it really comes down to this. So if you go and you ask your receptionist, how much do you charge for a crown? How much do you charge for Invisalign? Whatever it may be, and they respond anywhere close to one of these 3 ways, you need this course, because all 3 of these are a recipe for guaranteed failure for that patient to go elsewhere, right? And then you lose, even if you're the better clinician, right? These cannot happen anymore. You cannot tell people, I'm not answering your question. Can't tell them the total, can't tell them the range. There's anchoring bias, price anchoring, sticker shock. There is all kinds of psychological mistakes going on here. So we've got to change it. And we're gonna teach it by 3 essential steps in this course. Is gonna teach your receptionist how to improve your overall hospitality, all right? It's gonna enhance your brand, right? Every interaction, this is how you have to think of marketing. Marketing is not pay-per-click. It's not muffin drops to the dentist if you're an orthodontist. Marketing is every interaction you and your team have with a customer or somebody you want to become a customer or patient, whatever you wanna call them. That's marketing. Every single word coming out of your mouth will move your brand forward or retract it. All right, you've got to always remember that. Improve your communication skills, all right? Improve your presentation skills. These 3 steps are going to teach all of this. Improve your verbiage skills. Make you unique, right? Going back to the framing effect, how when we deliver a phone call, can that call get over and that person remember you, right? And stand out and go, wow, boy, that person was proud of their job. That practice is so different. There was a different feel about it. It was immersive. I want to go there. I want to see more. I want to learn more. Halo effect, okay? Now here, increase your conversion, right? Obviously, this is going to go into growing your practice. It's going to increase your conversion. You're going to get more new patients through the door, and they're going to psychologically walk through your door ready to make a purchase. Or if you're not a practice that really does the same day starts, like I said, maybe you're more of a dentist and your first goal is let's get them through the door and make sure they want to become a part of our dental family for life. We want to make sure they become a part of your dental family for life before they walk through the door, okay? So critically important. And then overall, all of this is going to go into reducing the lost opportunities at your practice. It's an amazing course. You're absolutely going to love the 3 steps to overcoming price increase. Like I said, everything, if you're on our website or just randomly came across this video, you've never seen us before, all the data that I showed you around the new economy, this is why New Patient Group exists, period. right? Everything has got to be done differently than ever before. We're the company to help you get there. Enjoy this course. Remember, if you do invest in this course, it's going to come to you right away in your email. It'll ask you to log in, really create a quick login, and boom, you'll have it. You can start watching it right away. It's an amazing transformational course, and look forward to coaching you and seeing you there. Bye-bye, everybody.